The original title for this post was going to be something cheesy like how to 10x your life. Uh, Obviously, we didn't go with that, but that is actually the title of the article that we found that we went through. So, how often do you think about leveling up in your personal, professional life? Aaron and I go through this. It has some really great points. I think Aaron brought up some really good stuff. I want you to check it out. Let me know what you think. If any of this can actually be actionable for you, love to hear it. But let's dive in.
Welcome to the Warrior Mindset Podcast. We're your guide as you make your way through life, getting better 1% every day. We believe that life is lived and true victory won through adversity. Nothing easy is ever worth it. We believe in the warrior ethos and support those that choose to walk that path.
Do you read Hacker News anymore?
No,
Y Combinator?
don't read anything.
You don't read anything?
I can get away with it.
Well, if we're making New Year's resolutions,
Is it to read more or
You should
not
read
read
more.
anything? Gotcha.
you should read slightly.
hmm
Do you read slightly?
I read slightly.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
You read the prompts on your phone?
No.
Oh, you
yeah.
click.
Yes. I've actually. Just so you know, I've actually been reading a book.
What?
I know.
Been reading it or listening to it?
No, reading it.
Okay.
It's on branding. It's
Okay.
one that I bought.
So it's not fun at all.
It's interesting.
Okay.
We'll
Cool.
discuss it at another time.
Seth Godin.
No, it's a professor
Oh,
that talks about
it's like a real book.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Marie. I know we're staying positive.
No, it's good. I like it when I like reading. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So, Hacker News, why is that relevant to this podcast? It's not, other than this post.
Okay.
How to focus again, and I thought it was. I mean, as these posts on. So, Hacker News is kind of like Reddit, but it's just for like this nerd type
Right.
world
Yes.
of like startup developer people. But
Mhm.
there's like a bajillion comments. I'm not even going to read the comments, but the post, the idea is the post is like how to, like, I can't focus. Like I used to be able to focus. I feel like I did some things early on in my career that got me where I am,
Right.
and now I'm not doing anything like I used to anymore at all. I'm just kind of stuck.
I was actually thinking about that the other day. The things that got us here now are the things that we don't want to do anymore.
It's kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it goes, man.
Right.
What do you think that is? Do you think it's because we feel like we've arrived, we've succeeded,
Well,
or is it because we're just getting older and we're tired?
I don't know. I mean, I have two general thoughts on it, and the first one is one, the things that got you here. Maybe you look at them, and maybe I do, especially in my career too. That like I'm now not a. I'm not going to say I'm not a doer, but I'm supposed to be. I'm in the position to.
You're not a technician,
Well, no, I feel like I'm supposed to. I'm not supposed to be operational. I'm supposed to be strategic.
right?
And I still hold on to a lot of my operational type stuff that
Okay.
I still like doing.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting paid for is technically more strategic in nature.
Okay. Is that like the nature of management?
Yeah, but it's not just managing people. It's like what it's thinking through the things that will make our foundation or company
Right.
better this next year, and working through those things. So
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time with a whiteboard now, and especially this time of year planning for the next year and everything. Like it just that's where my value comes from
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And then my hope is that coaching the people that work for me is to do the
I
things.
think you just hit on it. I think you just hit on it. Is that's where your value comes from now.
Mhm.
But it took you some time because we've talked. I know that it took you some time to understand that that's where your value is,
Yeah.
right? Just like me. I mean, I struggle with that too.
Yeah.
Like, and I think maybe that's this person's thing is like maybe they're in a place where they don't know where their value is.
Yeah.
They have come through, you know, doing the work, the nuts and bolts. And they spent a lot of time to learn that, getting really good at it.
Hmm.
And now maybe they're not
Yeah.
doing that so much. So they're like, I don't see my intrinsic value in the things anymore, even though perhaps it is.
Yeah. Well,
Like in your case, I mean,
and
you're bringing more value in a different place.
and that should be, we talked before about like, experience is expensive.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
and it should be because it's all about the person that knows where to put the X on the
Yeah.
thing that's broken, as opposed to necessarily fixing the thing. Like if you don't know what's broken and
Yeah.
how it should, you know,
Yeah.
fix everything else, then you can fix 1,000 things in whatever your machine is, but if you don't fix the right thing, then nothing else works.
Right.
So I hope that now I'm the person that knows where the X goes.
Yeah.
Um,
In theory.
in theory, yeah. We'll see at the end of next year, but I think that that's part of it is the growth and progression
Right.
of what got me here isn't always now. There's the meta part of what got me here. Should be the thing that continues to take me where I want to be. But as far as like the actions and the operational and the tactical things
Yeah.
that you do, like that isn't where even military, like, you know, you're very, very tactical until you have to be strategic.
Yeah.
And, like, not that you get paid that much more in the military for that,
Mm.
but as far as the responsibility,
Yeah.
you that is a very direct form. You can see the E0 up
Yeah.
to I ran into command sergeant major the other day,
Mm.
and I was like, well, you've done everything that you can do.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the top of the food chain.
Yeah. But then the other side is, I think it's the maybe it's the other side of the insanity principle of you know doing the same thing all the time, expecting a different result. That maybe and boredom, I guess, too. Like I want to do different things that like if I can make money or have fame or adulation or whatever it is in any situation, and I just continue doing that thing, then
Yeah.
maybe I can continue to have the same amount coming back to me. But then at some point, everybody goes, "Oh, but I want more." And,
Hmm.
and so then you start to change the things that,
Yeah.
that made you successful in the first place at whatever that thing was. And thinking that, again, the opposite of the insanity principle, like this will get me something, different, better,
Hmm.
maybe.
Could be.
Could be.
I like your train of thought. Speaking of train of thought, that post led me to look for some resources.
Mhm.
And I came across this article, Rules That Have Helped 10x My Life, by this very nicely tattooed gentleman who's in the picture,
Gotcha.
Marino Zugaro. I'm sure I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but
Mhm.
I'm not going to go through his writing, but I like the main points. I did read the article,
Good.
but we're going to talk through the headlines.
Good.
I thought they were cool. I thought they were
I
cool.
like the fact that you read.
Yeah, right. I just read the internet. All right. So I think maybe some of this is related. We don't have to make it related, but I think it might be related. So one of the first ones he has is no more band-aid solutions.
Mhm.
Solve problems instead of treating symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Along those lines with this, these are some of the things that I don't make New Year's resolutions, but these are some of the things that I want to do more of in 2024.
Okay.
These things. So no more band-aid solutions, solve problems instead of treating symptoms. I am so guilty of that.
Mhm.
I'm so guilty of not taking a meeting and just
Yeah.
pushing it off until like 2 days later.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, it's like worse. What
Yep.
about you? Do you do any of that stuff?
Oh
I mean,
gosh.
not meetings, but
No, in meetings as well. Like
skip solving the problem.
I literally said to somebody in the past 2 months, like, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
I really just
I
don't want to deal with
know,
it.
God.
And so I'm gonna find every excuse not to right now.
So here's something that just happened to me. This is one of the things that made me think of this. I'm pretty good in my professional life.
Mhm.
I just made a joke about meetings,
Yeah.
which I don't like meetings, but I'm pretty good in my professional life. Like if there's a, whatever we're doing, if there's a thing that needs fixing, I will just go ahead and do it.
Mhm.
I have learned over the years if I just do that,
Right.
the rest of my time is pretty much easy. Like I get that. It's like a reward system.
Yeah.
But personally, I'm really bad about this. So my son just got hit in the school parking lot,
Mhm.
and the insurance company kept calling,
Mm.
wanting like more and more details, and I kept just putting it off, and I was getting so mad,
Yeah.
like, and
With
then
them because they want to help. Go ahead.
yeah, and then like I was like, why are you continuing to harass me? And ultimately, like we got on the phone, we had like a 20-minute like talk
Mhm.
with them, and the story and everything was good, and I was just like, what is wrong with me?
Right.
And it was a moment of like, a couple minutes. No. But like, what is wrong with me? Why was that my reaction? Why is that what I did? Um, and I,
Because
I just didn't want to face it wasn't even a problem.
yeah.
There was no problem.
Right.
I wasn't creating a problem. It was just I didn't want to be inconvenienced. I don't know what it
It's a
was.
derailment of all the other things that
Yeah.
you try to do during the day, and you're
Yeah.
like, I don't really have
I
time
don't
with this.
yeah.
Even if like I
It was 20 minutes. Like it
I
was like not a big deal.
I hate I hate invoicing.
Mm.
Is the stupidest thing in the world. The one thing when
Yeah,
you're in
yeah.
business for yourself that
That's
you
the
should be doing
thing you should do first thing in the morning.
exactly is invoice people.
Make sure those are out there.
That is the hardest thing for me
Yeah.
as a consultant or
Yeah.
whatever I am have been. When I owned restaurants, like
Yeah.
writing the invoice to you pay me back for this thing.
Why? Yeah, why?
I don't
I don't
know.
so that is something that definitely I believe will 10x your life if you just do the thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, just do it. Just
Well,
do the thing.
it's and the where I'm guilty is also what I tell my kids too, which is, work before play. Like there are a thousand things that we want to do, but there's like three things that we need to do.
Yeah.
And if we just get those three things done,
Right.
they take a lot less time than you actually think they do.
Right.
And just like you said with the phone call, and then you're like, then you can do all the things that you want
Yeah.
to do.
All of the things.
But
Play Spider-Man 2 until
the
your
things that I need to
fingers
do,
bleed.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So
Moving on.
just
Just do the thing.
just have do it.
It's simple, but I don't know why.
Just Nike it.
Just Nike it.
Mhm.
Just do it. Let me put in some.
Yes.
All right.
Put that in for sure.
Be
With the fire coming out the butt.
the butt.
Yeah, he's got the flame.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay.
Be grateful. It's the one thing that will truly change how you feel about life.
Mhm.
He's not kidding.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, have you bought into my philosophy now?
what's your philosophy?
You know that I do the grateful
Right.
thing
Yes.
every single night and every
Yeah,
single day.
yeah, yeah. I don't think I want to come up with
I know.
a thing that I say as much as I think that I just need to put that first more.
Mhm.
Um, go like try to go there first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it puts things in perspective. Like it just does, and I don't know why I don't do more of it.
It goes back to the reason I do it every single day is because otherwise I would not do it at all.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. It has to be part of my routine. Otherwise, I
Part of
will
your
not
discipline.
well, I will not be grateful in
Yeah.
the way that I should.
Yeah.
And even if it, like I think I told you in what 10 something years or whatever, I think I've not done it twice
Mm.
at night. Done a, it's not really a prayer, it's more
Just kind of a prayer.
Yeah,
Kinda
but
comes off like that.
it's what I say to myself before I go to sleep every single night.
Right.
I think those other 2 times, those 2 times were like, I don't know, there's probably alcohol involved. But even then, I'm like, I try to get that done if it's quick.
Yeah.
I did it because if I don't do it, then it's very easy not to do it again. And what that does is it makes it easier for me again to not, you know, even if I don't feel that I mean it that day,
Yeah.
that it's still a reminder of like, no matter, who I'm upset with, what I'm upset with, whatever, it's like at least I have the ability to address that person or address,
Yeah, right.
those feelings or those problems. And I've got to have some gratitude for that. Otherwise, what are you doing?
Yeah, for me, it's more of a, like, just keeping it in perspective because
All right.
I have a tendency to, like, look at small things just kinda become bigger issues,
Mhm.
and they're really not,
Yeah.
but, like, they just turn into that. So what does Aaron Draplin tell you to get cosmic? That's one way to think of it.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool, and that's stuck in the back of my mind for, 10 years now.
Yeah.
Get cosmic, just kinda, like, detach a little bit, as Jocko teaches,
Yeah.
detach. Um, I guess there's, like, flip sides of being grateful. Being grateful is another way to sort of
Yeah.
approach that. Like, changing your perspective to, like, "I get to do this,"
Yeah.
instead of "I have to do this."
Right.
Like, I get to build websites for people for a living.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people that would really like to do
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty cool job, I
Yeah.
get to do this podcast, like, because of all the other things that I've done,
Right.
it's a good position to put yourself in.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I have a podcast scheduled for tomorrow,
Mhm.
and I haven't done one for since we had our big event. And it came like I got an email yesterday that was like, "Hey, I just, this is scheduled for Wednesday. I'm just confirming." And I'm like,
Oh, shit.
well, yeah, I was like, I've never talked to you before. Like,
Right.
part of my mind was like, is this a scam? I'm like, no, I know this company,
Yeah.
but then, they're like, I finally had to write back. I'm like, did did
Did we
I
do this?
did I ask you to schedule this? And they're like, yeah, in this email back in October. I'm
You're
like,
like, "Oh, October."
but and at first I was
Might
so
as well
upset.
be.
I'm like, I'm working on other stuff. I don't have
Right.
time for this and
Right. Like, I
everything.
dropped the ball, yeah.
Right. But then I was like, today I was like, like,
Yeah.
yes, I asked for it, one.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, yeah.
two, like I get to do that. I
Yeah.
get to talk to somebody
I know.
like here,
It's
for an
cool. I get
hour, and it's like, okay, that's cool. It's my job.
paid to
That's
have a
part of my
podcast.
job.
It's kinda rad.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
pretty rad.
So stop being a dick
Yeah,
and
I know, right?
just do it.
That's what the first 2 are,
Exactly.
just don't be a dick.
Right.
Alright.
The whole thing.
Say hell yes or fuck no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have too many options to waste time on the unknown ones.
Yeah.
You have too many options to waste time on the unknown ones. I read that wrong. You have too many options to waste time on the lukewarm ones.
Yeah.
Not unknown. Unknown could be really cool too,
Yeah.
but lukewarm. I screwed that up. Anyway, say hell yes or fuck no.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm okay with that one, but I'm gonna try to do it more.
When I
When it comes to my time
yeah.
being spent doing shit for other people, that's where I'm gonna apply that.
That's good. When I read it, what went through my head was from this weekend. I was driving back from Georgia somewhere. We went to the lake, and we were listening to road trip radio on XM or
Okay.
whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And two songs stuck in my head, and the fact that they say the same things in them got me.
Mm.
One was "Let's Go Crazy," Prince, and it's basically, he's he, you know take the interpretation however you want, and tell me
Mm.
I'm wrong, but it's basically, let's go crazy, let's get nuts, let's just do the shit.
Yeah.
And the other one was Seal, "We're never going to survive unless we get a little bit crazy."
Mm.
And I was like, oh wait.
Okay.
And and I take again when I saw that, I was like, that's kind of the message that I get from those two songs.
Yeah.
Like, I know they have other meanings too, but it's like
Sure.
a just do, do or do not.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the rest. Do or do not. Just fucking do it,
Yeah.
and or don't, and be emphatic about it, and cut out the
Yeah.
things that need to be. I mean, it's yeah, it's literally cutting out the things that need to be cut out,
Mhm.
and doing the things that need to be done. Again,
Yeah. And the ones that just aren't really worth it.
yeah,
Like, I mean, we all do a bunch of stuff that's just like, meh. It's
yeah,
like for other people, it's like, man, like what? Like, say no.
yeah.
Like, it's okay to say no.
It's hard to say no.
It is, but it's okay. To just be like, dude, I'm busy.
Hmm.
Like just figure it out on your own.
Yeah, you'd be surprised too. Also, when it's something that somebody's asking you to do. Oh, I don't want to go into that one. That that
So,
that they could do very easily,
yeah,
or
yeah,
they may not know how to do it, but they're asking you to do it because they don't want to even try.
yeah. You know those people who are like, hey, could you come help me with such and such? And you get there and they're like, yeah, it's over there.
I I moved my neighbors one time accidentally because they were busy packing things. They're like, "Yeah, can you help us move?"
And you wind up
Sure.
doing, yeah,
I
like
put everything in their U-Haul.
yeah, that's one where you should just be like, hey,
Yeah,
I gotta go.
yeah. Like 4 hours later, I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
I put everything in that could possibly go in. And you guys got to do the
yeah,
rest."
yeah. I've done that. I've speaking of moving, like what is that? I've gone to help someone move and they're like, I've got the boxes
Uh-huh.
like over
No,
here, we can put them
no.
together. And it's like, you haven't even put things in boxes yet. I'll come back next weekend.
Yeah,
Like I'm good. I'm not gonna
yeah,
help you. Yeah, I don't get that one, man.
yeah.
Also, here's another rule. If you're over the age of 35 and you're going to move, just hire movers.
Exactly. Do not call
Yeah.
some.
That
Yeah.
Alex Hormozy, I don't know if you heard of this guy. He was like having I saw something he said where he was like, I'm just gonna give you $200 to hire a mover. And you're gonna think I'm a jerk, but then you're gonna realize "Hey, he gave me $200 for a mover.
Yeah.
Like when it's done, I'm gonna be cool. Like
Mhm.
like that's probably like, what are you gonna buy me pizza? Like
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like we're
And I definitely don't want to
I'm,
drink a beer
I'm
while I'm moving.
48 years old.
Yeah.
49 years old. I don't want to help you.
Yeah.
Like
No, if you're my kid,
yeah, I know. That's
if
different.
you're my kid, and that was painful moving
Yeah,
into the dorms.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, but past that, mm-mm.
They don't have enough stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, all right. Yeah, that's one you say hell yes to. You help your kid.
Yes.
Your neighbor, you say fuck no. Um, the first two are don't be a dick, and the third one is like, be a little bit of a dick.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Celebrate even your smallest achievements.
Mhm.
You'll build momentum to tackle the big ones.
Yeah.
I don't do that enough.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's
I
hard.
just kind of keep
Again, it's hard.
moving.
There's some things that are just hard to do because
I'm
you
not saying like, yay, I answered an email. I mean, I'm like, when you get something done
Mhm.
that's not like earth shatteringly significant, but just something for the day that's significant.
yeah.
Yeah, be like, yeah, I did that, you
Well,
know?
we talked before about the oh, the Pomodoro principle, or
Yeah,
yeah, the 25 minutes on, 5 minutes break, do whatever the fuck you
yeah,
want.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's good to have those little celebrations
yeah,
of
yeah.
work that you've done, and to tell you the truth, that is one way that I've found
That
that
works for you?
that works for me, because it is like a I mean, it's still hard for me to stop after the 25 minutes, honestly.
Sure.
But when that thing goes off, there are times where like I'm designing something, or I will just walk away. And like
Well, yeah, yeah.
in mid,
Oh,
like
okay.
I'm about to click, nope,
Really?
and I will
Okay.
walk away because
See, I can't do that.
I know it's hard.
Like
That's why
my flow doesn't work that way. Like
yeah,
I just when I'm
I
into it,
know, I
like
know. I could go like this morning instead of doing that. You know, I think I went an hour and a half
yeah,
designing things, and like at the end, I'm like, oh shit, I was gonna try to get out of the house and go running, at this
sure,
time, and I
right,
missed it. Um,
right.
but yeah, it's is really not hard, but it is hard
Mm.
to appreciate those small things that lead up to a lot. It's, it's hard to appreciate like eating a salad if you're trying to lose weight or,
Yeah.
or getting in a 20-minute workout as opposed to a 40-minute workout because that's what you have time for.
Right.
And you should celebrate the fact that you got that 20 minutes in, or like
Consistent.
I
Yeah.
did a 15-minute run yesterday because that was what it was actually programmed. But like knowing that I can just go run for 15 minutes as a recovery run and like it's still beneficial to
Right.
me,
Right.
like I needed to celebrate that
Yeah.
a
It's
little bit.
legit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how small is small
Right. Is sending an email.
though. Like, I mean, I would say fitness,
Mhm.
like your 15-minute run. I would say, yeah, you should. Just celebrate that for the day. That's
Okay, then what's the same thing in business?
yeah. Shipping that design. I think
No, shipping the design is not a 15-minute task.
you don't think that think it's too
What
big.
me running for 15 minutes leads up to 14 weeks down the road, I run
Yeah.
a 10K because that's what I'm using that 15 minutes
Right.
for on a
Right.
Monday to do. So what is that 15 minutes equal to in business
Mm.
if the goal is 13 weeks from now I I do a 10K. So
Getting that invoice done that morning.
yeah,
It could be 15K.
it could be 15K.
If you have an invoice that you need to send for 15K
Fucking
and you
send
don't
it.
do that, you are dumb.
Yeah, that is yeah,
You're dumb.
yeah.
You could take some of that and pay someone else to do it for you for 15K.
This is true.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I just wow, how small is too small? I don't know. Like, yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Feel you.
I mean, sometimes sending that email, especially if it's one that you don't want, like before I walked in here, I sent
Yeah.
an email
Yeah.
that I did not want to send.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I noticed that she just emailed me back. I'm like, I don't
I don't want to see
yeah.
it. You were on that response too quick.
It is the same discussion of the people that I have not wanted to talk to
Yeah,
for
right.
2 months,
Yeah.
literally. So, um, anyway,
Heal from your past. You can't paint a beautiful life on a dirty canvas. I don't know about that little metaphor, but heal from your past. Let shit go, I think is another way to say that. And that is something that I am going to try to do really hard is get past things and move on and get more shit done.
can you read it one more time? Because now I have a problem with
Heal from your
yeah,
past.
that's great.
You can't paint a beautiful life on a dirty canvas.
Okay, yeah.
Again, I
Yeah.
didn't. We're not really
No,
going
no,
into the
no.
article. I think this one in his article, he was like he overcame some big
Yeah.
issues that he had with people in the past or things that he'd done. Um, which I get it.
Yeah.
If you're an alcoholic, you should probably fix that
Mhm.
and then move on.
Right.
But for me, my issue is more smaller things.
Yeah.
It's being slighted in a conversation.
Mhm.
Where you feel like somebody disrespected you a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not like I don't want to say I'm just gonna like cut you out of my life forever
Mhm.
because of like one conversation, but it kind of feels like that sometimes. Where it's like, what? Fuck you, then. I just won't. I
Yeah.
don't need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Boop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, like maybe they didn't mean that,
Mhm.
and maybe it's just how I took it.
Yeah.
Sometimes people definitely disrespect you, and you can't let that hang. I mean, you need to
Yeah.
like either address it or cut it out. But sometimes it's not always that. Sometimes it's just your misunderstanding.
Yeah. It just reminded me. Yeah. Something that
Oh,
happened.
you just do that to somebody?
No, there's something that's happened. Yeah, this summer that I think you may know them actually. I have to tell you later.
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's talk shit about people.
okay.
But it was like a definite like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
But it was done in such a way that it was like I can't even believe that you said that out loud. Anyway.
But it goes with the hell yes or fuck no thing,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like either get over it or like
Right.
just cut it off.
Yeah.
Like, why are you in this weird middle ground with
Yeah.
somebody? Like, that doesn't help either side,
No.
you know?
No. And now, I mean, I feel better that I'm not in that middle ground with this person
Yeah.
for sure, because now I know who that person really is too. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's a whole other thing. But I, I guess I was going to be kind of a dick and say that, masterpieces have been on canvases have been painted over before, but also shitty old,
Yeah.
paintings have been painted over before
Oh, yeah.
because they reuse the canvases.
Yeah. Have you
So,
seen the ones where it's like the Thomas Kincaid, you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, that
But
guy.
they put like a ATST on it, or like a Star Wars AT-AT, like a TIE fighter. You've seen those?
Yeah, well,
Those are cool as shit.
yeah,
I want to get one of those
I've
for the
seen a lot
studio.
of especially this year, like a nice normal, landscape painting or whatever, and then there's like a little ghost,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, did I?
Like a Bob Ross with like the lizard man in the corner.
Yes, exactly.
Those would be
But
cool.
yeah, but but yes, I mean, as much as I was saying that literally, like, yeah, you know, first of all, there are very few things that you can change.
Mhm.
You can try to rectify situations, but you definitely can't change what
Yeah,
you've done, other people have done, what has happened to you.
that's right.
And all it is, obviously how you deal with it. And then what like how you deal with it mentally, and then what you do with that
Right,
information,
right.
um, I guess physically at that point. Um, so yeah, it's always hard to let go of shitty things.
Yep.
That's why they're shitty.
Yeah.
But I told my wife this weekend, actually, you know, she was asking me something that had to do with why and how I think.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know.
Was
But
it right before you were going to bed?
yeah, actually,
You're like, I'm sleepy.
well, it was more like, you know, I I told her for 30 plus years with ADD, ADHD, like I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And because my mind was always racing and trying to
Right.
figure out problems and
Yeah.
trying to you know do stuff.
Mhm.
And that's just what ADD is. It's like, I think a normal person, if they have 10,000 thoughts a day, well, somebody with ADD has 60,000 thoughts a
Mm.
day. And so I used to joke that, like, oh, I could outthink you because it's going on and I can't stop it,
Yeah.
type thing. But
That's not how it works, but yeah.
no, I know exactly. It's
You
like,
keep thinking I
I
finished
keep
the
thinking,
one
yeah,
thing.
yes, exactly, right. But and then you celebrate it.
Yeah, wait,
Um,
what?
but then, but I told her that, for the past, 10, 15 years, once I was clinically diagnosed, whatever, and was aware of what that was and how to tune into it,
Mhm.
that, I've had to go through it's the whole, like, um, you know, women constantly think about things and men don't think about anything. It's that discussion right there.
Got you.
And
We think about the Roman Empire.
and I I said, like, I've had to really just adjust how I approach things,
Mm.
because otherwise I will never, I will continue to grind on something until it's dead.
Mhm. Mhm.
And and I've learned how to cut those things out of my brain and compartmentalize them to come back to them if I need to.
Mm.
It may sound weird. I'm sure it sounds weird, um, but otherwise, I couldn't function on a daily basis.
Mm.
And so when I say that I'm not thinking about anything, I'm truly not thinking about anything.
Yeah, some people like, yeah, I can do that.
Right. But that goes to the, like, I've found ways now to let, shit just, roll off my back. I've figured
Right.
out ways to not get so angry. Like,
Yeah.
again, something that happens to me, like, it sucks. And then I have to get over it because otherwise it's going to
Right.
continue to
Yeah,
eat me up. it happens to my wife, my kids, friends
Yeah.
or whatever, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But if it, like, so the way that I've dealt with my ADD, the way that I've dealt with trying to quiet my mind, that's how I've tried to deal with my past as
Mm,
well, is
okay.
try to cut it out. Still comes up
Yeah.
sometimes, but
It's cool.
but like I'm trying to clean that dirty canvas
Yeah.
as much as possible, relating back to the quote.
Yeah. No, you got to, I think it's something you have to work on.
Yeah.
Uh, it's all choices.
Yeah.
Make a choice to not spin on something.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I'm, I don't think I have the ADHD, but I have a little bit of the OCD
Mhm.
when it comes to interactions. I will definitely obsess over past interactions.
Yeah.
Um, like not in a like I should have done this instead.
Mhm.
More of a when I see that person again or I have the follow up to that, what will I do? That's what and I'm like 14 different things
Yeah.
and I want the perfect like response and it's like what the hell?
Yeah.
That's what I will obsess over that. And that's not very helpful. That is a big waste of time.
Yeah.
Like a major waste of time.
Because you'll never see that person again.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Or it just like kind of resolves itself.
Yeah.
All right. Stay consistent is the next one. You can't change your life overnight. Consistency.
Yeah.
Say it one more time. Consistency.
So you're staying consistent.
So important.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing is to be consistent with it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have a huge problem with that area, although there are some areas where I could apply that discipline that I am good at in other things. I
Mhm.
can apply it to other areas.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I think again, mentally, I'm fairly consistent.
Mm.
With work, it depends because I'm still feel like I'm transitioning into, what I
Mm.
need to be
Yeah.
more. Home life, so inconsistent.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know, it's I've always thought that, like, on a physical sense, it's easier to be consistent than it is to be mental.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy for me now to run,
Okay.
where I hated it before, but it's something physical and I can just do it, or work out or whatever it is. Those things are easy to do. Mentally, it's harder for me to stay consistent, to keep my bearings on the things that I need to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So like, you know, Nike Run Club programs my runs for the week.
You just do it.
I just do it. Wait a minute.
Do I have to
That was the best ad for it. But
do I have to pay them $1?
I think so. But I mean, like, literally, it's the I don't have to make a decision,
Mhm.
so it's easier for me to stay consistent and just follow a plan, which is why you do plan in the first place.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Okay.
you plan for consistency.
Yeah.
You know that there will be things that will knock you out of your plan, and you
Yeah.
but if you continue the plan, if you continue doing the things that you're supposed to do,
You'll get there.
hey,
I promise.
all right,
It will work.
yeah,
Of the 5 mountains of the Mark Divine Seal Fit,
Mhm.
Unbeatable Mind, whatever other thing he has. 5 mountains, the physical, mental, emotional, that's what spiritual, and then Kokoro, whatever.
Right.
The spiritual one, I think, is one that I am not consistent in. Whether you want to think of that in terms of
God, Allah, Buddha.
not like that.
Okay.
I mean, like how I respond to other things and people.
Uh-huh.
I'm not consistent in that approach. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm crazy because I'm not crazy. Maybe I am crazy, but I can respond to someone doing something that annoys the shit out of me and be like, well, I'm gonna be grateful that and have all these approaches, and then like the very next time I'm like, man, fuck that guy. Like, there's no like middle ground. I'm either like far one way or far the other way when I'm responding to stimuli. Let's
Sure.
put it that way.
Yeah.
In the form of people fucking with my shit.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Seen it.
Or my
Yes.
perceived fucking with my shit.
Yeah.
Um, it's either you're fucking with my shit or everything's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no like middle ground.
Yeah.
Like I said with the insurance company, where it was like they were totally like doing the thing that we paid them to do.
Right.
And but I was like, why are you fucking with my shit? Like, but they're not. It was totally just the way I responded to it, you know. And if I applied any logic or any like took a second, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
So
what's wrong with you? You
how's
know,
how's it on the spiritual mountain?
I just put it there.
Okay.
Because whatever forces that I can pull down upon myself to help me like do that,
Yeah.
kind of put maybe in that spiritual realm, you know, that being grateful realm, you know.
You don't have to be grateful when people fuck with your shit, just so you know.
I know.
It's okay to be upset.
I'm trying to control my response.
No, it's okay to be upset. And then,
yeah.
but you have to actually, say something to them like, did you know?
Yeah.
And then they usually go, no, I did not. And then you go, okay, well, don't do
Yeah.
it again.
And you
they
see
go,
the
"Okay."
mode in which you're speaking.
Yeah.
That's how I want to do it.
I know.
That's not how it comes out.
No.
Fuck you. No, it's like click. I just like don't. I'm like,
Yeah.
nope.
Non-response.
Yeah. I'm just like, bye.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Have a nice life.
Mm-hmm.
That's my response. My response isn't like to look out and throw them across the room. It's just like off. Because I know that like I don't want it to be that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like done.
Yeah.
You know. And I do that with people. And I don't like that. Or services or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's not spiritual. Maybe I put it in the wrong bucket. But
No.
whatever that emotional, like that kind of whatever, you know. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense,
Well,
but
maybe it's part of your spirit.
how the hell do we get there from consistency?
You were talking about the mountains.
Okay, yeah, the 5 mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very consistent in those other things, like the physical, the you know, the way I approach work, the discipline in just doing the things that need to get done. Pretty good there,
Yeah.
you know. It's just, you know, those other little smaller interaction things that I would like to have that same discipline, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe I need like a little SOP to just like
No,
when something happens, do these 5 things before you flip the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know?
Count to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that planning for eventualities can help you be consistent.
Yeah.
And I mean, somebody is going to come in here and fuck with all your equipment. They're going to do it, Gene.
Yeah.
They're right outside the window now, looking in, figuring out how they can do it.
Yeah.
But like, so
I wasn't specifically talking about the podcast stuff.
Oh no, but I mean,
it's in the list of things.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, but knowing an eventuality is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because this eventuality.
Yeah, well, right.
Then,
Yeah.
You could continue to be anybody could continue to be upset about that thing that you know is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can mitigate against it by putting a plan in place. So then you can go back to being consistent because your plan is in place to deal with something.
Does that make it worse knowing that it's going to happen and then it happens?
It just makes you hate more people.
Does it make it worse to you? I'm asking you. Like, like, here comes Bill. He's going to say the thing he always says. And he says it, and you're like, fuck you, Bill.
No.
Like,
that's and then
I don't know a person.
No. And I can think of a couple of people right now, personally, professionally, that I'm like,
yeah, you're like, I got to deal with it. Yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. And, like, I think if I'm not in the right mental state, then like, and it's something that will trigger me, then, like I canceled a meeting today because something was happening yesterday that I knew was going to trigger me.
Yeah,
that person.
Like, let's just put boots down the road.
Not even gonna deal with it.
That's a Band-Aid solution,
It is a
baby.
Band-Aid solution. But
This list is hard to get through.
yeah. Yeah, it is. It is because because you have different situations to where you have to react differently
Yep.
sometimes, even though you want to be
Yep.
consistent on all the way across. Okay, was that the last one or are there more?
There's one more.
Okay, all of those things are always great in a vacuum.
Yeah, right.
That's the one thing I'm going to say
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, the last one's kind of not related, but
Okay. But in a vacuum, like hell yes, I want to say yes to the things I like and no to the things I don't. I want to be consistent. I
yeah.
want to do the right shit. I want to have the right things. I want to be the right person. And then you have to deal with other
Yeah,
people
yeah.
and I don't know, meteors falling or meteorites falling on you. I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah.
it's
That would suck.
it would.
Probably kill you.
It That's why I said meteorites and not
Or
meteor because meteor doesn't come in.
or give you
Yeah.
superpowers.
Whew.
One of the two.
Any
All right, the last one. Stop worrying about others' expectations. It's your life. Do what makes you happy. So I just did a little meeting with somebody at the gym,
Mhm.
one of my students, and he was having some uh existential dread about his life.
Mm.
He's not quite out of college yet, and he's worried about what he should be doing. Should he be, because some of his other peers have already got jobs lined up and he doesn't.
Mhm.
And he's like worried about where he's going to fall, what he's doing.
Sure.
Um, and he's got a fiance, and he's worried about like what's going to happen there.
Mm.
And so, we talked a little bit, and I mean, this dude is like, he's in great physical shape.
Mhm.
I mean, there ain't no freshman 30 or 15 or whatever on this guy. This
Right.
guy's in great shape. He's got a great fiance.
Mhm.
They're living together, paying for
Mhm.
everything themselves,
Right.
paying for his own school. I'm like, what the hell? What are you not doing well? Like, you're doing pretty damn well.
Mhm.
Like, when I was in your spot, I was not doing that well.
Right.
I didn't have my shit figured out.
Yep.
Nobody, like, I know people now that are like 50 years old, they do
Still
not have
have
their
their
shit
shit
put together
together.
as
Yeah.
well as you do. Um, and, we talked and talked and talked, and it just came down to, I think he was just worried about what his fiance's parents thought of him, and thought that he needed to do things a certain way to make them happy. And I was just like, bro, that's never going to happen. Like, I don't want to burst your bubble, but one, you're probably like, you're never going to be good enough for
Oh,
their
yeah.
daughter. Like, it would, if I had a daughter, it'd be the same way,
I can affirm that.
yeah. So like, dude, you're doing great.
Yeah.
You need to just like do it, because what he wanted to do was like start his own business. He wants to like be an entrepreneur and all this stuff. But he's like, should I go get this, like, work at a bank or whatever? I was like, man, you got definitely need to do what you think you need to do. But don't do it because they think you need to do it.
Yeah.
That's just gonna set you up for like the worst life. I mean, I think back to I've got family members that like they were together to get out of school, to get married, have kids, and they're like, shit, we were just doing what everybody thought we should do.
Right.
And they're like, we don't like this.
Yeah.
And then they, go their separate ways. And it's just like, you're just doing what society thinks you should be doing.
Yeah. It builds a lot of resentment.
Yeah, I think that's where resentment comes from.
Mhm.
You're like,
Yeah.
I'm here because of you.
Right.
It's like, well, no, you're here because you decided to do that.
Right. You still
You
make
can't
that
you can't put
decision.
it on somebody else.
No.
But that was the conversation we had, and that one really stuck out to me to think about like that, and I thought it was pretty poignant in terms of, yeah, you really can't.
But sometimes it is the expectations that your family has on you, or
Mhm.
in this case, sideline family, like that continually seeps into you, whether it's like you hear it,
Mm-hmm.
or it's actually, if you hear it in your brain or if it's actually said to you somewhere,
Yeah.
you know. But
Shame on them if they're
yeah,
actually saying it.
but that happens.
Yeah.
And
It's the premise of every Hallmark movie.
no,
Every Christmas Hallmark
yeah,
movie.
no, they always find each other in the end.
They do.
Yes, they do. Should have happened all along. We're 80.
Yeah.
I don't think that was, maybe has. But I've told you before that I've always felt like behind my peers, especially you know, in business, I guess. That, you know, and I've always felt that, like I'm here, they're here. Maybe we even started that way, but as we kept going up, like I'm still here and they're here. And whether that's true or not is a whole other thing.
Probably not.
But as far as like the expectations of others, like, well, like when I told when I decided to buy a restaurant for the first time, right after I finished my master's degree, I told all my friends in my master's degree, and they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I mean, they were right. Let's be real. But they were like, you just spent all this time and money
Yeah.
going through an MBA, and now you're gonna go run a restaurant. I'm like, yeah, I will take almost every single thing that I've learned and put it directly into that.
Yeah.
But that was my way of thinking.
Right.
But they kept looking at it, and so
What are you doing?
I always had that little, thought in the back of my mind, like, oh man, like all my peers there are looking at me like I'm an idiot because they're going to work for PwC
Yeah.
and things like that. And I-
Hmm.
so
You feel
yeah.
like you feel like you made a bad decision?
I
Thinking
mean,
back now,
I've made plenty of bad decisions.
we both have.
Yeah.
We could probably write a
Oh,
comic
yeah.
book.
Yes, exactly. But
Not a full book, just a comic book.
a comic book. But no, because that's the grateful part
Good. Right answer.
that
I dig it.
everything that I've done up to this point has gotten me to be the person I am today.
Right.
And maybe I'm still not fully baked.
I hope not. I hope I'm not fully baked.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be pretty sad to be like, look, you're in the middle of your life and you're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing more sad than somebody that peaked in high school.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, bro. I mean, Bruce Springsteen song aside,
Yeah.
like, dude,
Yeah.
like you want your best years to be ahead of you.
Yeah.
You know?
That's glory days, by the way, folks. If you're
If you're not
not
old
know,
enough to
yeah,
know.
exactly.
I think the people that listen to this podcast probably
Okay, gotcha.
Bruce Springsteen.
My demographics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
35 and up. Yeah, it would be pretty sad to just be like done.
Yeah. And we both know people like that.
Oh, definitely.
That never moved mentally nor physically from where they were.
Kind of quit.
Yeah.
Kind of quit. I think this list is pretty good. I think it is predicated on a lot of other things.
Sure.
That this whole podcast, not this episode, but the whole series is probably about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that these are necessarily. Yeah, they can help just about anybody. I think they could definitely help you, anybody.
Dude, it's a reminder of these are things that you need to try to put into your daily life the best you can. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. None of this is black and white. I mean,
no,
it can't be.
That's what I mean. Like it's in a vacuum. This is all perfect.
Yeah.
But you started this whole premise of these are things that I want to do in the new year.
Yeah.
Without having New Year's resolutions, but I want to, think about these things, do these things. Well, is it going to happen every minute of every day?
I can't.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen even every day? Probably not. Yeah. But if you, again, remind yourself, figure out ways to remind yourself that, hey, here's my focus. Here's my focus. Here's my focus. That, it's easier to do that.
For sure. I definitely think, relating it back to the very first Hacker News post that guy made, I definitely think it could help you get unstuck a little bit.
Yeah.
I think some of these definitely could. I think, if you're in that position where you're like, I feel like I'm not motivated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think you could apply some of these things to your daily practice, and it could help get you unstuck.
Yeah.
You could see some things that could maybe help you move being stuck,
All right.
perhaps.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's go crazy.
let's go
Let's get
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah, well, man, that was a good conversation. I appreciate you always sitting down with me.
Yeah.
This might be the first one of the year, so honored to have it be the first of the year sitting with you. So
I appreciate
here's to
it.
many more.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
All right.